Hi, this is Ruthie, and I'm going to make a cathedral window block. This block has 9 segments, and so you will need 9 pieces of your background fabric cut 9 inches square. And that's what I have right here. And take those 9 pieces separately, fold them in half, and we're going to stitch a seam down both sides of this. And I always backstitch. I don't know if it's necessary, but it's not like regular quilting where I have another seam going over the top of it, so that's why I backstitch. Okay, so we have both seams sewn on here, and now we want to open this up like this. So my right sides are in here, and put these seam allowances together just like that. So I'm nesting those seam allowances, and I will stick a pin in here. Now make sure the bottom part is out of the way, and we're going to put this under the sewing machine and stitch this seam. And I'm going to stitch past the seam about 1 inch. And then backstitch. Then lift your presser foot, hold that nice and straight, and pull it until it's about 1 inch from the end. Yeah, nice and straight. Yep, just like I said. Backstitch. In, backstitch. Okay. Then I have this funny looking thing, and I trim the threads from where I left a gap, and I stick my finger in and turn it right side out. And we backstitch this, so you don't have to be really careful about turning it right side out. I shake it, and then I use my finger to push out the points of the corners. So there'll be 4 points that we push out. There's 2, this little short one, 3, and 4. Now, there's our little square. Now you might need to take a pin and pull out your corner a little bit, because it might be kind of hidden in there, and I just stick a pin in and pull it out, and there it is. Let's do this one too. I don't have sharp pointy fingernails, I guess. My fingernails are rounded. Okay, so from this point then you're going to press this nice and flat. Okay, here we are. So I just start at one point. I press it. Press that one. Press that one. And that one. There we go. Okay, so we have 9 of these, and on one of them we need to mark the center of all 4 sides, and this little 6-inch ruler comes in real handy for that. Just making a little dot that goes off the edge. And now I'm going to connect the dots, and so draw a line from dot to dot all the way around this block. So there's my block, the piece that has it marked all 4 sides. And now I need to take 2 of these squares and mark only 2 sides. So there's my dots. going to mark this one, and then the opposite side. And this one. And let's do this one. And there's that side. And that side. Okay, so now we're going to pick up the center one. We're going to call this the center, the one with 4, and this is an edge piece. And we're going to put those together. And when I put those together, I want to put together a blank corner of this. I don't want to use one of the corners that I marked. I hope you understand that. So I didn't mark from here to here, but that's where I'm going to sew, and I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to sew on that line right there. Okay, you'll see why later. So, and I do back stitch. And now I will take the other one that I marked and do the same thing. So see, here's my lines that are going all the way across here. So I'm going to put these right sides together. There's no line here, but there is a line here, and that's where I'm going to sew. Okay, so we have the center section that we sewn together like this, and now we need to make a section to go on each side of that. And to do that, I've marked my center points here, and I'm going to draw a line on opposite sides on 2 more of these. Just 2 lines. And then I pick up another one, line it up, and stitch on that line right there. And I did change to my walking foot. Works much better with the walking foot, going through all these layers. So here's the first one the first part of the second part, if that makes sense. And pick this up. Now this one, as you can see, I think I had some starch on my ironing board, and it looks kind of wonky, but this is going to be covered up like that, so it really makes no difference that I have a little I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a little lump in my pressing. Of course, when you're doing this on video, you always pick up the worst one to show. But you know what? We're all human, so here's another one that doesn't have any markings, and I'm lining it up with this one that's already been stitched here, and now we're going to stitch on this line. So here's a side piece, and here's my middle piece. Let's take this out. And here's the side piece. Now we need to join these three together. So I'm going to pick up this one, this one. And you can see my lines are there. My lines are still here from the first piece that we put together. And I match those seams right there. And open this up with my fingers. And I will put a pin just past this seam allowance just to hold it. And I will do the same thing here. You're not really stitching over these little flappy things, but I just want them out of the way. And then I line up this edge. Stitch on that line. Now I pull my pin out a little bit before I get to it, because I don't really want to take the pin out, but I want to backstitch over this seam when I go over it, just to secure it. If you don't, you may have a little hole in your quilt. You might not realize it, but until it's too late. Half of it. Now I'll turn it and pick up this one with it and do the same thing. Really want to sew over the pins. Alright, there's one beautiful segment. Okay, so I need to tack the corners, all these floppy corners down. And so this is how I do this. So I take a little stitch through this, and I grab the point and stitch through that. Okay, that's down. And then I grab the next point. And now I want to stabilize it to the bottom again. So I'm going to grab a little bit of the bottom. And then I'll get the next point. And the last point in the center. So the center one has 4, and then I just do a little loopy knot, and then I go back through that because I don't want my tail loose. I want my tail in here. I go back through that and then cut that off. And I'm going to do that to all of these. So on here there will be 4. Or, excuse me, there will be 3. 1, 2, 3. On the middle one there was 4. So there'll be 3 here, there'll be 3 over here, 3 here and 3 here, and on the corners there'll just be 2. And I'm not folding this one in because when I make the pillow I will stitch here. And so this will be stitched into the block, to the pillow. Okay, so these are all tacked down. All the corners are tacked down. And now there are 12 squares that I'm going to place the window fabrics in. And I just lay them out randomly and then move them around if I want to, or if the colors don't please me. See, I don't want that next to that. And I have this left over. I don't really want it next to that, so I'll put that over here and put that here. I don't want that next to that, so I'll move that to there and that to there. There, I have my 12 squares. Now I take a safety pin and I pin in the middle of each one of these. And here's a little trick. So I pin, I go down and I come back up and I go back down again. Because if I do that, then I'm not going to stick myself. I'm going to go down, up, and down. Do you know how many times I stuck myself while I was doing that big quilt? Many, 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 many. If I was really paying attention, I would probably put the pins in a certain way because I'm going to sew these in a certain direction, but for right now I'm just putting them in there. Okay, so we have our 12 fabrics pinned down, and where these are not tucked, this is going to curl in just like this, and that's what makes the window. Just like this. Now you can curl it in and hand stitch it, or I'm going to show you how to do it on the machine. And I'm always going to be working on the right side of a piece, no matter where that piece is. Okay, so I'm starting in this corner, and I'm going to back stitch a couple stitches. And I always use my needle down. And I'm just going to hold this so I get a nice little corner there. And I'm going to stitch as close as I can to the curved edge of this window casing or whatever it's called. So I'm going to stop right there, lift my presser foot, and now I'm going to stitch down this way and up that way. So I'm going to fold this over. Reach in there and fold this over. And sometimes it's good if you have a stiletto. I kind of had a camera in my face, so I was having a hard time.
I know, I'm sorry.
Stop right there and turn this over like that. Start sewing. And every once in a while the curved edge comes up through my presser foot, and sometimes I use my finger and sometimes I just lift it. And I come back to that point, turn. Now sometimes I backstitch on these and sometimes I don't. It just seems like if I know that it's not real secure, I will backstitch. But if I think it's secure, then I don't worry about it. So see, that's really nice. So I'm going to take this pin out and do this one. And now it's time to do another different one. There's a couple strings here. We'll just take those out. Now, can you see that this fabric got stuck out here? There's like a little flap from this side. And I just take this and snip that off. I don't know where it went. Anyway, I'm going to stitch over it. So I just wanted to remove it so that it didn't stick out the other side. Okay, this is one of those that I want to backstitch because I'm not sure that I got everything really good in there. It's not really something you can rush through, but I think it's probably quicker than hand sewing them. Oops, I have this folded up. Really hard to see what I'm doing down there, but all I'm doing is just folding that corner right over there. Okay, so I'm coming up to my starting block. This is the last, if you want to call these ceilings and walls that I have done. So I started here, and we'll call this the ceiling, and I went down this wall and back up this wall. Ceiling, wall, and all the way around. And I got around to here. Now if I came out here, then I would have to cut my thread and start over again. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to do the floors of all those rooms that I just did. Okay, so now I'm going to do the inner square, and I'm going to do the outermost edge, and then I'm going to come in and go back out, and the outermost edge, and go in and back out, in and back out, all the way around. And here's a time when that pin is going the wrong way. I talked about that before. So I would really like it to be going this way, so the head is not in my way. Little tail off right here and right here. And this is our very last one. And that's where we started. Now, this will be a little pillow, but if you wanted to make more, you would just continue to make these 9 block. So we started out with 9, and that uses 12 window squares. And so if we had 2 of these together, we would pick it up like this and pin these and stitch along here like we did to put these together, and then you could add another 9 block square to that. You could add all the way around it if you wanted. I hope you enjoyed it.